Happy lunch hour, gang. All right, moving along here as we get closer and closer to the election. Mrs. P and I are actually going to vote this afternoon. There's all sorts of talk about what the number one issue is for voters. And if you look at the national polls, it would be the economy, it would be the southern border, it would be crime. Abortion comes in down there about 7th. But these are the things people talk about. Now, for some people, like me, maybe like you, certain issues are a lot more pertinent than others. I'm 58 years old. I ain't having any more kids. Abortion's really not a topic of conversation in this household, okay? Not that I ever want to see PBJ have one, but it's not a high priority for us, okay? The southern border, okay, I live in rural Tennessee. Yeah, we have illegals running around eastern Tennessee, but it's not the most pressing issue for me. Crime, it's around everywhere, okay? But again, I live in a pretty safe place. I have a very safe household. So that's not it. But the economy is one that affects everybody, okay? I don't care who you are. If you are the most liberal, progressive, bluest of the blue Democrat, or if you are the most conservative, let's go back to normal, right-wing, Trump-supporting, MAGA Republican, the cost of food is up. The cost of gas is up. The cost of insurance is up. The cost of electricity is up. Oh, the cost of everything is up, okay? I mean, I don't know, maybe sewing machines or film cameras are down. I don't know. There's probably something they could say, look, the price of something came down. But what everybody needs to spend a good chunk of their money on is up. Now, there's also been the big talk about Roe v. Wade, right? Going back to the Democrats trying to push the big issue of abortion. Sure. And, Trump's going to make abortion illegal nationwide. No, he's not, okay? This is already settled law. It has already been sent back down to the states to make the decisions, right? Anybody with a brain knows that. There are many states that abortion's legal. There are many states that abortion's not legal because the states made the decisions like they should. But when you get to the economy, that's more of a national issue, right? Maybe not, because it's still the state governments that determine what your state tax rates are, your sales tax, if you have an income tax, your property tax, et cetera, which in course makes everything more or less expensive. I just got my tax bill in the mail, all right, yesterday. Don't be jealous, people. 3 acres and my house, my tax bill for 2025 is $1,361. Not a month, that's for the year, okay? So all of those of you living up in New England or something like that and going, I pay more than that a month, now you wonder why I don't live in Boston anymore, or I don't live in Chicago anymore, all right? Give you those as ideas. So there was an interesting piece that was put out by the Cato Institute that I ran across this morning, okay? I think it just came out the last day or so. But it ranked the state governors on who is the most fiscally responsible and who's the most fiscally irresponsible. In other words, which side taxes the least and spends the least, and which side taxes the most and spends the most. Okay? I'll link this so you guys can take a look at this. It's kind of interesting. Of the top 12 states, there is only one that is led by a Democrat, and that's Hawaii and Josh Green, okay? The rest of the top 12 are all Republican governors. Of the bottom 17 states, only one is a Republican. That's Mike Parson in Missouri, okay? Missouri, you need to get your governor to do a little bit better with managing your money. I just find it really interesting that the tax and spend Democrats have the lowest ranking for economic prosperity in their states versus the Republican ones. I want to give you a real interesting, you want to guess who is the lowest ranking, who's number 50 out of 50 states for the governor, who is the worst governor in regards to fiscal responsibility? Take a guess. It would be none other than Tim Walz. Minnesota ranks dead last in fiscal responsibility. But hey, let us run the country, because my record on handling money is so good. Take a look at your states. Now here's the good one, okay? And this is where I want everybody to think about this. We know there's 6, maybe 7, because they keep calling North Carolina a swing state. I still don't believe it. But of the 7 swing states, I'll include North Carolina. Let's see where those rank, okay? Now, Georgia's a swing state, and Brian Kemp, I still think he's a rhino, actually does quite well. He comes in ranked 8th. All right, that's good. Georgia's actually in pretty good shape financially. But to go on to take a look at the rest of them, you've got to drop way down low. Joe Lombardo in Nevada is the second highest ranked one, and he's down in the 30s. Katie Hobbs is a Democrat. She's two spots below Joe Lombardo. Roy Cooper, who's a Democrat, is 3 spots below Katie Hobbs. Josh Shapiro, who's a Democrat, is 2 spots below Roy Cooper, okay? Gretchen Whitmer is down. She barely survived. She made the cutoff, didn't get an F, okay? Is down in the bottom, 7, okay? And Tony Evers in Wisconsin, another Democrat, is one of the bottom 6. If we look at the economy and we look at the states that are going to determine which party controls the federal government for the next 4 years, i.e. the presidency, the House, and the Senate, okay? The scary part is most of those states are run by people who have no competency in handling an economy, and yet they were elected. All those swing states, you guys really better pay attention, whether or not your governor's up for re-election, okay? If he is, most of you guys need to kick the governor out, okay? Because financially, they suck. But start to think about it. Show this to your friends. Show this link to your friends and go, this is where our state ranks in financial responsibility. You think the economy's bad and everybody wants to blame Joe Biden. Everybody wants to blame Kamala Harris. And trust me, they get plenty of blame for the money printing machine that they've got going on with Janet Yellen, okay? But look at your governors too, because they're the ones running your states. Look at your House and your Senate, your state House and your state Senate, and look at them, because they're the ones, House, Senate, Governor, that determine what you pay on taxes, what companies pay on taxes, what excise taxes there are, what fuel taxes there are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What makes your life more expensive. And then go, where's all this tax money going? What am I getting for it? And this is the big question everybody needs to ask themselves financially when they go into the ballot box. All this money that I'm paying in Sales tax. Okay? How's it bettering my life? All this money I'm paying in property tax. How are my roads? How are my schools? How good is my police department, my fire department? Michigan, take a look at your roads. That's Gretchen Whitmer's fault. Okay? Trust me, I drove on Michigan roads 2 months ago. They haven't gotten any better in 40 years since the last time I was there. Okay? They still suck. But Michigan's got some good taxes. Just where is it being spent? When you sit down at the kitchen table, and whether you're with a checkbook paying your bills or whether you're sitting on your computer paying your bills, and you look and go, crap, there's a lot of month left at the end of the paycheck after paying bills. Don't just blame Kamala Harris. Don't just blame Joe Biden. Don't just blame Congress in Washington. Look at your governors. Look at your House. Look at your state Senate. Because they're the ones that are putting you in financial peril as well. Because wasteful spending doesn't only happen at the federal level. It happens like crazy at the state level too. And it just so happens that the worst offender of them all wants to be your vice president. Pinball out.